champion, as they say in the north. Wouldn't be a good one without it. Make it one for my baby and one more for the road. That long, long road.
On October 12th, 1963, Suslin Hall, Anthony Turner, and a group of their friends fell victim to a bizarre, foul, cannibalistic serial predator. Miss Caitlin Walker was the sole survivor of that night of terror. Miss Caitlin Walker said she had woken up in an old coffin in the basement of a chapel, where the life had been sucked out of the bodies she saw. Some of the bodies had missing heads and had been crucified upside down.
Students these
Tobyhanna
days,
State Patrol conducted a month-long manhunt that ended with no findings. But during the last 6 years, over and over again, reports of bizarre, grisly mass murders have persisted all across the state of Tobyhanna. The Tobyhanna State Massacre has not stopped. It continues to haunt Tobyhanna.
Funny, that must be a new state I haven't been told about. Ooh, spooky. So, somebody's pitching themselves as a proper horror game, and of that I am grateful. Drive me that your lights on. Oh gosh, what was that? Whatever we hit, swear it looked like a mannequin. Have to get help. But man, I have to pee. I hope they have a restroom here. Priorities, my friend, priorities. Don't worry about dead bodies or anything. No flashlight in equipment. What a phrase. Okay. I like this. This is a nice setup. Okay, so I can't pee in the ice machine. I would just like to state you can kind of pee anywhere. You don't actually need a restroom, because, you know, this looks more like a butcher shop than a restroom, just judging from that light. Oh, I can bob my head left and right as if I'm listening to some funky tunes. Good, I like that. Okay. So, we can't access the door of blood redness. That's nice to know, at least. Is this a door? I don't know. It's so... oh dear. It's so dark I can't see. Okay, there's nothing in the ice machine. Can I go in the front door? Nope, I don't think I can access that either. Okay. So, my quest for a toilet isn't going wonderfully so far. Can I fill up with some gas? Okay, so something of decent size has definitely hit us. And judging by the blood, probably not a mannequin. Okay, so... okay, there's an invisible barrier here, so I can't go over this way, so it must be... there must be something here I can interact with. Am I being dumb? Probably, I usually am. It's usually extremely rare that I'm in a situation that I'm not being dumb, if my job history is anything to go by. But, no, this is definitely locked. I haven't a flashlight. Okay, I'm slightly befuddled. Give us a minute. Stumped by the very first objective in the game, but never mind, it wouldn't be my channel if I wasn't getting stumped by the simplest of stuff. Never mind, give us a minute, I'll work this out. Z, X, C, R, T, oh. What? Cameroid? What's a cameroid? I have no idea. But pressing C tells me of another piece of equipment that I don't have yet. Okay, that's fantastic. You'd think you'd be able to walk in the front door, but seemingly not. I'm very confused. Chair? No. My Gideon, you could literally just pee in the middle of the road. No one would see you. I think if you're doomed to die today, it's not going to be because of the location you decided to relieve yourself. Oh, for crying. Really? 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 Is that what's going on? What am I, an 11-year-old? For crying out loud. Really? Did you see that tiny key there? Because I didn't, and I will admit my eyesight is not great, but at the same time I didn't think it was that freaking bad. Okay. No, okay. Now I'm befuddled. I have an inventory system? Ah. Restroom key. Can I equip this? Zoom or scan? Okay, I can do. Oh gosh. Okay, so I can click different things. How do I equip this? Tab for close? No. How do I equip it? How do I like take it in hand? Enter? Space? Just tap to close. It doesn't equip it. See, look, equip, unequip, roll mouse wheel. What? Not freaking. Yes, I know. For crying out loud, this is my channel. Everything goes wrong. I know that, but at the same time, could just once in my life something work? No lighting equipment. Why are you saying... Right, when I'm scrolling up, it brings in the no lighting equipment message. When I scroll down, nothing happens. When I scroll, it lets me switch between nothing and the key. Only I cannot take the key in my hand and then actually use it on the flipping door. Fantastic. I now have to watch somebody else's video in order to figure out which freaking button you press in order to take a key out of your pocket and put it into your hand because my brain doesn't work. Give me strength. Menu. Settings. Good old-fashioned settings. The only staple of gaming. Controls. Where in this lovely long list of buttons that you can press to do BS do you see anything that says press right mouse button? R or L right mouse button. Okay, fine. That one's on me. Still. A, nobody has ever called it R and L mouse button. How many characters are you saving? 7? Oh, there's so much screen space here where you couldn't just write left and right. What do you mean return to menu? Return to the game, for crying out loud. Yeah, return to the freaking game. Great! When you go onto the menu screen, you can't return to the game. You have to restart, so don't press escape while you're playing the game. That's lovely to hear. Right, okay, so what you need to do, I have since discovered, after banging my head against the wall and watching somebody else's video in order to figure out what you're supposed to do. You see this whole inventory system where you can scroll between different things in order to look at them? That's not so that you can select which one you want to have in your freaking hand. That has nothing to do with your hand at all. If you press left mouse button, you just jiggle the door and it doesn't do anything. If you press right mouse button, then it opens the door. You'll pardon me if I think that's a bit stupid and rather annoying. But never mind. This video's hopefully only been going about 3 minutes so far, and you've currently seen me fail miserably at A, seeing a key, and B, reading the control scheme, but never freaking mind. Never mind, doesn't matter. Let's just let this character, who's been busting for ages, actually have a wins. Now, could you kindly open the door? Kindly open the door. No, you wouldn't kindly open the door. What on earth am I looking at? What is that? A broken piece of a mirror? Flashlight would be real nice about now. Could I be allowed to do anything? No? Finally. What do you do for a hobby, Phil? Oh, I just fail miserably at everything and then spend my Saturday nights listening to somebody urinate. Kitty on. My channel has been in bad places previously, but it's never been quite this bad. Right, never mind. New beginning. This is an interesting visual effect. You're walking along some sort of demonic tongue, I wonder? I don't know, but it couldn't be possibly worse than a 50-year-old ox tongue in a can. So these are lovely noises that I'm listening to. I'm sure these are all the sorts of noises that people love to listen to when they're feeling stressed out and irritated and annoyed. Hi, fella! If only I was scared of you. I'm so cheesed off at the minute that I honestly couldn't be scared of anything at this moment in life. What am I looking at? Now, is that a cradle, a nuclear missile, one of those logs you go down at you go in at the amusement park, or something much worse? Oh no, it's my car. Possibly getting closer as it runs me down. Okay, never mind. Sorry, I don't mean to be hacked off. I just am hacked off. Okay, because like seriously, like if you're just here for the game, skip ahead like 30 to 60 seconds, but I just need to say something right now to the nobody that's watching. For the last while and a half of making videos since I came here, nothing has gone right. Everything has gone wrong. Every single game that I have tried to play, something has gone really, really wrong to hack me off so much that I can't actually enjoy the games anymore. Even if it's just something as stupid as, oh, you need to pick up this key, which is like really small and kind of hard to see, and if you're not really looking for it, you're probably not going to see it's there. And then you need to press right mouse button to open the door, even though that's never been a thing that we've ever done before. If you have the key, the door opens. If you don't have the key, the door doesn't open. That's like the rule in indie horror games, and now we're going to do it differently. But never freaking mind. You know what, kid? That's how I feel. Right, never mind. Let's get back to the game. Let's try to be objective. Let's try to ignore this man's bum and my head. Where am I? Where's the comma and the question mark that should have been in that sentence? I'm not even going to try and understand the control scheme of this game, because at this point it's just beyond me. Clearly it was written by somebody who thinks of controls in a very different way to the way that I do. Okay, so this reminds me of that scene in, I want to say, Nightmare on Elm Street 4? The one where they sanctify his remains? So that's cool. That's reminding me of a film that I much enjoyed. Mainly because of one scene, but never mind. Okay, so these cars are stacked much more uniformly than you'd usually see in these sort of situations, and that worries me. Does the local crane operator have some severe OCD when it comes to things being in symmetry? Because that's probably not a very nice condition to be living with. Particularly when you have something as imprecise as a crane to organise your general bits and pieces with. Never mind. Oh, hi friend, I'm gonna get the hell out of here. My head. Still there, friend? Yes, you are there. Hello. Train line? Get hit by a car? Whatever the heck. That person is not very far away, can he? Perhaps I had better get through this door. Oh, great, that noise again. Flashlight? Still not a flashlight. Okay, right, what's this? Lighter fluid, liquid. Lighter liquid. I'm going to give up reading, if I'm honest, because I'm generally terrible at it. Dear Jeffrey, it's getting more difficult to hide this from my wife. I'm getting concerned about where this is going. Every day she gets more suspicious. She says that the Holy Spirit is watching me, and God isn't pleased. Although I have had some delays and challenges, I assure you nothing will take me off task. I really hope Elizabeth doesn't get in the way. Hail the fallen third. Oh, mysticism. Oh, mysticism, why must you be so irritating? Okay, I'm now passing through doors that are locked. I really wish we could have done that with the restroom door about 20 minutes ago when we started playing this accursed game, but never mind. Red Rum. There was a horse called Red Rum. What was the lighter fluid? What was the lighter? Was it up? There we go. Okay, so now I have a little bit of light. Not much light. What's this? A chute? I have no idea. Hello, Hat Man, whatever you're called. My head, my giddy on. You're a whiny little person, aren't you? All you do is complain about things. Giddy on, my head this and my head that. Have you seen my head? It's not really good either. Hi, friend. I know how you feel. Another letter to Jeffrey. Letter to the Deacons. I haven't seen this place in 15 years. It makes me feel like a man being forced back into captivity. But we all have to press if we want to see progress. Alice won't be a problem. Once I take care of her, I will settle here and make more sacrifices until the chosen one has risen. So there's some cultic stuff going on that the good lady of the house wasn't pleased about. I'm not even going to ask what that is. Over there? Over where? What's over there? Nothing. What's that? I'm being lied to again? What a surprise. So I can left click to jiggle the door, and I can right click to knock on the door. Like I said, control schemes that don't make a lot of sense. She's run out on me again. My giddy aunt. How many dates am I going to go on there only to get ghosted again? Getting a little sick of this. Anyway. Is there a nice horse about here? I feel like a horse would make things much nicer. Wrong. Okay, if you insist, I shall keep looking for the code then. Anyone else around? No. There's nobody around. Frankly, I'm not surprised. It takes somebody of a genius level of intellect to work out this control scheme. And the reason I worked it out was because somebody else did, and then just told me about it on the internet. How good of them. Oh, is this the remainder of Red Rum? I'm sad now. Oh no, it turns out he had a twin, so at least he wasn't lonely. Hello, folks. I'm glad to see you're not lonely. Even in the world of shadows, you have somebody to talk to. That's nice. But this door is locked. That's not so nice. Oh, a room full of locked doors. What fun. I pull these off. Oh, but I can knock on the door. Fantastic. I shall put that on my CV and engage in additional employment immediately. What's that? A book? No, that's not nothing. It's not anything even. Okay, so once again we find ourselves thoroughly stumped as we have no idea what it is we're supposed to do because we've clicked on everything and nothing has happened. There weren't any numbers in this letter, were there? It says 15, and it mentions the third. I don't know, what are we talking about? The third multiple of 15? I don't know. Can we go back? Back to the first letter, perhaps? There is... What? There is no any key in inventory. Giddy on, I know my grammar's bad, but come on. You think you're gonna get me with that kind of cheap jump scare? Come on, this is me we're talking about. I'm the bloke that wasn't even scared by Outlast. Mind you, I am also the bloke that gets horribly scared of even the tiniest deficiency of Noctis, so maybe I shouldn't talk. Hello, friends. Anything changed? Everything looks much the same. What is the light on the far side of this? I don't think it's anything in particular. It's not like a person with glowing eyes looking back from the darkness, staring into my soul from the void, judging my deeds, both good and bad. Ah, who am I kidding? Don't be scared. I haven't done any good deeds. So, is this one of those designs where you have to just wander around a long time? And then when you turn around again, eventually something will change? Seemed to work last time, so even though pattern recognition is not one of my strong suits, we will continue to wander around aimlessly in the dark in the sincere hope that eventually something works. Lighter needs to be refilled with fluid. Well, good for the lighter. Can I come in? Or quite possibly go out of my mind? Playing games that make no sense because I can't afford to play AAA games, which actually properly design. Oh dear. I can't even see what the buttons on this are now, so I wouldn't even be able to put in the code even if I found it. Why are you developing such rhythmic knockings? It's certainly not rhythmic knockers. Oh well, never mind. Most befuddled and confused. There is no any key in inventory. You are not kidding. Do I have anything? Oh, can I reuse this? Use. Ah, there we go. Oh no, sorry. Pressing the wrong button again. I'm sure it's the F being the light button. Is there definitely nothing around here? Check these cabinets, just make sure we can't open any of these, and I shall left and right click on them just in case. It's probably lovely for you to listen to. You get to hear the infernal clicking of my unbelievably loud mouse. Never mind. There's a number of numbers here, but they seem like something of a long shot. I mean, there's 6350. I suppose I'll try that. It's the only thing I have to go on at the moment. 6350. Wrong, of course, because this is just a standard reused asset, and these numbers are completely meaningless. Well, there's 9288. I suppose we'll try that as well. 9288. Wrong as well. Fantastic. You're wasting your time and your life and your Saturday night and the channel's potential. But never mind, Phil. And that number is too long. I don't know. Let's just try 1233 and then 3322. 1233. 1233. 3322. No. Okay. 4. No, okay. So, we've exhausted the numbers that we have so far learned in our attempts to work this thing, and it hasn't worked. Really? Really? It's this again? Am I the only one that thinks this is kind of an asinine design? Oh, horror games. They're spooky. What do they need? Pacing, to make sure that spooks happen at the right time. To make sure that the spooks aren't so lengthily distanced that by the time they get to the second one, it's been so long since the first one that they've actually grown older and completely moved past their fear of whatever the first one was by the time we try and scare them again with it. So what should we do in the middle of that? Let's have a door that you can't get through until you pick up a key that you can use in the door, which you can only find if you look really, really carefully. for a tiny, tiny speck of darkness, which I would just preface is completely covered by this blanket unless you're standing right here. So you have to stand in exactly the right place and look at exactly the right angle in order to see the key. Absolutely fantastic. Well done. Congratulations. Great, now we can actually get on with the game. Please scare me, so this game can at least have succeeded at something other than just making me unbelievably annoyed. Oh look, a key that's actually visible this time. That's nice, I appreciate that. I don't have a problem with it being a key finding exercise. I mean, that's fine. It's not very exciting, but it's fine. Here's what's not fine. Making the keys that you need freaking invisible. I wanna like this game, I really do, but it's not making it easy for me. Dear, the end is your choice, whatever under the sun that word is. 8 better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof, and the patient in spirit is better than the proud in spirit. When the 3 days of darkness are complete, you will finally be able to see the whole picture. The frame is the reward of the artist Edgar Degas. Well, that says 7883, so we'll try 7883. 7883. Bang. Great. So another list of numbers that's completely useless, meaningless, and pointless. That is 7883, isn't it? Yeah, definitely. Fantastic. More puzzles. Those things that don't work in horror games. So, what else have we around here? Fascinating, fascinating. Could you crying out loud, thank you. Down here we all float on. Float on what? Pure anger, anguish, and irritation. What was it? 7883. Oh, okay. So the code doesn't suddenly start working the moment that you turn the painting round. See, moving a painting is fine. Like, I don't have a problem with that being a puzzle in a horror game, because off-kilter paintings have been a staple for decades. Like bunkers have had, like, strung up paintings in them that are particularly off-kilter, because people like to put them back on kilter. The idea being that when you move them back on kilter, a bomb goes off and kills you, in order to kill intruders, because the people who are meant to be in the bunker are told, don't touch the painting. So that, I don't have a problem with this. This, I do have a problem with, because this is just ridiculous. Finding a tiny speck of darkness in a world of darkness by standing in the right place. That I have a problem with. Because it's just... I don't think a reasonable person would have found that in a reasonable amount of time. And I don't claim to be a person of reasonable intelligence. I claim to be an absolute moron. But at the same time, I don't freaking know. You're probably not ever going to see this anyway. Better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof, and the patient in spirit is better than the proud in spirit. You telling me to wait? When the 3 days of darkness are complete, you will then finally be able to see the whole picture. The frame is the reward of the artist. Right, so what we've got is a load of meaningless drivel that makes absolutely no sense. Lovely stuff. So how does this help me? How does being able to twist this thing around help? What does that do? What does that affect? I have no idea. Can I try it with that one first? If this one's straight, and then I try to interact with this? No, that doesn't work either. Okay, so it's not a pattern then. It's not an ordering exercise. Is it my imagination, or was that not blue before? No, it always was blue. I remember now. Anything here? Oh, now we need to pull out a book. Okay, that's an interesting idea. I'm slightly more forgiving of that, because at least that is, again, something that is vaguely logical in the sense that it has been used widely in other places. Hi. Really wish I could be scared of you, but frankly, you're too cute. Could you let me pass, madam? Obviously, I can go around this way because you don't have a big enough bum. I can't go around this way because you do have big enough boobs. Okay, that's a lovely situation to be in this evening. Not quite how I expected to spend my Saturday, but never mind. Who cares? Okie dokie. Anything else I can interact with? Oh, okay. This is shifted around. Boy, howdy, am I glad to be out of there. So I went through a door, and now I'm at the bottom of a trapdoor. That makes sense, doesn't it? Oh, look, another key that you can actually see. That much I appreciate. Small door key. Okay, so click on this, and your vision moves to this point, and then does nothing else. Oh, right! Click on it, and then that takes you into the we're climbing a ladder world. I cannot re-emphasize that enough. I want to like this game. I really, honestly do want to like this game because it's got a cool environment and it seems to have cool designs for the enemies and its atmosphere is a little lackluster, but what is there is pretty good. So trust me when I say this is actually halfway decent. It just has the severe problem that the design choices, maybe they make perfect sense to the person that made this game, and if that's the case, then bully for you. But at the same time, they don't make sense to me. And if they make sense to you, then congratulations, and I'm glad if they make sense to you, because then that means it's just me being an idiot rather than it being a bad game, but at the same time it doesn't feel that way. Do I have any more lighter fluid? No, I do not. What is this? A great big pipe. Can I use that to strangle myself? Certified X-type Gipsum drywall board. How fascinating. If only I could count. Okay, let's not walk into the gas. If history has taught us anything, it's that gases is something that should be avoided. Oh look, an LED panel, one of those things that I don't have, as you can tell from the way that I am horribly lit. I can't find a good balance for lighting in this place, because turning that light on makes things too bright, and just having this light on makes things slightly too dim. I don't really have a solution. I'm stuck between the devil and the deep blue sea, as always, but never mind. What's this? This is a knob. I'm not even going to talk about how confusing it is that even when a door is open and it then takes you to a loading screen, you then get the locked door sound and visual effect rather than it being an open door sound and visual effect, but never mind. Anyway, more lighter fluid? No, this time a gun. Fantastic. Hi. Where's the... Okay, this is a gun that doesn't work. Great. Kneecap him? No. Well, I'm not worried about him being... I'm not particularly worried about the gun not working, given the fact that it seems to be able to stab you about 15 times before he can actually hurt you, so that's lovely. So is the whole point of this to give you a gun that isn't any use? Or is he actually killable? Okay, so it is just one strike. He just somehow managed to not hit me with the first 15 times he hit me the first time. Okay, more inconsistency. Lovely stuff. Okay, so this seems like a totally useless weapon, but hey ho, here we go anyway. Let's run into the darkness, I suppose. Oh, I see. You're supposed to pick up the gun and then not use it. Of course. Of course. Give them equipment that they're not supposed to use. Did I miss the chapter of the Handbook on Entertainment that said that misdirection is a good idea? Because where I come from, when it comes to entertainment, misdirection's a terrible idea. Just putting that out there. See? See? This game has moments where it's good. And I'm sat here thinking, wow, I'd love to enjoy this. But at the same time, he dwells in the darkness and roams in the depths of the house, seeking whom he may devour. Good for him. I'm glad he's having a nice weekend, because frankly I'm not. It has consumed you. Yes, this game has consumed me and my entire evening, and a hell of a lot more of my brain cells. Well, good job, Michael Benson. I hope you're proud of yourself. You've driven me up the wall, but never mind. Never mind. What's my opinion worth? Oh, gosh. As I said, you're probably never going to watch this, because I don't tend to upload stuff where I just moan and whine about the game constantly, but this game has moments. The horror elements of this game are really good. The design elements in terms of progression make no sense. Like, keys that you can barely see make no sense. And just to momentarily talk about sort of games on a wider general, I've been noticing this trend recently. Oh, thank you so much for doing that. I really appreciate it when you do that. Just to note this think, Phil. Just to note a little trend that seems to be going on in indie games at the minute. It seems like a very popular motif to have a little bit of story, but then not do anything with it. Like this idea that there's a bar of story that you have to hit, and you have to hit that much story, or else you're not a proper game. But you don't actually need to do anything with the story. It doesn't need to actually add anything to the experience. You just need to have it there. Because it seems like a lot of games at the minute are putting in story, but they're not actually doing anything with it. Like that one had some notes in it that you could read, that were interesting and all, but at the same time did not really do anything with them. It didn't really build anything up. It didn't really do anything with it. And then there was the gun, which you're given when there's an enemy chasing you, and where I come from in a game, you're given a gun, and an enemy turns up, you use the gun to shoot the enemy, apart from the fact that the gun doesn't work on the enemy. The enemy takes no damage. So what you're supposed to do is completely ignore the gun is only used to trigger the enemy's arrival, and then you walk out the door. Like, does this make perfect sense to everyone else? Because if it makes perfect sense to everybody else, then I don't have a problem. And it's just me being a moron, which I'm like all on board with. Because I'd rather I'm a moron than the game isn't good. Because if I'm a moron, that only impacts me and the poor sods that are unfortunate enough to stumble upon my miserable excuse of a channel. If it's a bad game, however, that's then worse, because then it affects the people that made the game and it affects the people that play the game. So I'm hoping it's that I'm an idiot, rather than it being a situation of it being a bad game. But I don't want it to seem like I'm purely hating on this game. Like, if you take anything away from my meaningless rants that you'll probably never hear, take away this. The horror elements of this game are good. The design elements of this game, in terms of how you progress, don't make any sense to me. They may make sense to other people, and that's fantastic, but they don't make sense to me. So if I don't know, like, sure, the horror elements at the end were a little bit rusty. It would be nice if that demon thing had maybe been clouded in the shadows a little bit to make it a little bit scarier, and its eyes hadn't been quite so glue on. That would have been nice as well. But overall, the horror elements are good. That chase scene out of the scrapyard thing, that was good. It didn't really make any sense how the enemy seemed to be right on top of me and yet not kill me. But never mind. I'm also a little confused why it kept jumping between different types of enemies. Like, it started off with just... It started off with mentioning a mannequin, but then we didn't see the mannequin. Instead we had a person in some sort of a suit, so like a hazmat suit, or like a protective set of armour that was chasing us. But then we forgot about them, and then moved over to spooky noises, and then moved on to the mannequin, but the mannequin didn't really do anything, she just turned up for like 2 seconds. Then we moved back to the guy in the suit, but then forgot about him as well, and then went on to the demon instead. Like, I'm all together with having varying different types of enemies so that things don't get boring, particularly in horror games. It's really important to keep the spooks different, or else it becomes the same. Because you see something spooky, but you survive it, meaning it's not as scary anymore. So if you bring in something else that's different, it then becomes a bit more spooky. So that's fantastic. My problem stems from when it seems like token variation rather than meaningful variation. If it seems like you're being chased by demon minions, and then the final scare is a big demon, that makes perfect sense to me. Because a demon is like otherworldly. A man in a suit does not seem otherworldly. He seems like a serial killer, which is what the write-up at the beginning was talking about, if I remember correctly, if that was indeed this game and that wasn't the game that I was playing the other day. This write-up started by talking about a serial killer. Okay, so why have we jumped from a serial killer to a mannequin to a demon? Because those are 3 completely different styles of horror. Demons, otherworldly, spooky, possession, makes perfect sense. Mannequins don't really fit into anything, but I suppose you could kind of call them possession, so okay, we can pretend that the mannequins are like the demon's minions that are being controlled through supernatural possession. Okay, that's fine, it's a stretch, but whatever, who cares at this point? So we've got the demons and the mannequins, that's fine. Why is the demon and the mannequin working with the serial killer? Why? Could we just have like one type of... I don't know. I know that if anybody was watching this, which nobody is, but if somebody was watching this, I know that they would probably say, if you don't like games that are designed this sort of way, and you would like sort of more professional, thought-out design, why don't you play a AAA game? Oh yes, you don't play AAA games because you haven't got the money for them, because you can't afford to put any money into a channel that isn't going anywhere. Absolutely, I understand that 100% I do. Oh dear. I get that argument, I absolutely do, I just don't think that it's complicated. Like, if a absolute mindless oaf like me could figure this out, surely anybody else can. But, I don't know. Probably most of this rant has been cut out, you're probably never even going to see me play this game, but never mind, if you did see it, which you probably didn't, and you managed to sit through all of however much of the rant I left in, then congratulations for sitting through the rant, because frankly it was probably one of the most boring things you've ever heard, just like all of my videos, so thank you very much for joining me this evening, ladies and gentlemen. Look after each other, and good night.